Hi, my name is Shannon Elizabeth, and today I'm going to show you how to use these Ikea kitchen island support brackets. So first, put your kitchen island in place. It's okay if it's not exactly perfect since you will be moving it around later and you can perfect it later, but get it as close as possible to the final position. The closer the better. So once I got my cabinets in place, I marked on the ground with pencil where the four corners are so I know where my cabinet is and so I don't put the brackets accidentally outside. And then I also put a pencil mark right here between the two cabinets as a reference of where to put the brackets. So this is a page out of the IKEA assembly documents. This is where they advise you to add the support brackets. And so since I have three next to each other, mine is going to look like this. So this is why we added pencil marks on the ground between the two cabinets, so we can put one of those support brackets between the two cabinets and really keep them level and keep them both supported. So it comes with these little brackets. You can flip them the other way if your island's shorter than mine, but I kind of measured this up to this and saw that my cabinets are pretty high, so I am starting it off in here. I'm leaving them loose, so once they're in place and the island's above it, then you'll raise it up to the height of the kitchen island. So this is the next step, and essentially we're adding the screws through the L brackets into the wood, and don't tighten them all the way, so then you can adjust it once the cabinet is up in place and you can adjust it to the height. So I actually should have bought 4 of these support brackets from IKEA, but I accidentally only ordered 3. And I live 2 hours away from the closest IKEA, and I'm super impatient, so didn't want to order one, and decided to make one myself. Although I did forget to order one, at least I get to show you guys how to DIY this and how to use it if you buy it from IKEA as well. I DIY'd one by literally just going to Home Depot and buying a random 2x4. I actually got one out of the discount section because you don't need this wood to be perfect anyway. You just need a short piece. So I actually got this whole 2x4 for only $2, which was actually cheaper than the pre-cut small section anyway. So I cut that to size with a jigsaw, and I just cut it to around the same size. I didn't really measure anything. And then brought it back into the kitchen. So I'm going to start attaching it to the floor. To attach it to this concrete floor, I have a hammer drill. We want it on the hammer drill option. I have these Tapcon screws and a concrete drill bit. You probably can't see in the camera, but I have pencil marks on the floor. Right here is a corner, right here is a corner, and then I put a line right here. That's where, between the two cabinets. Hi, my baby girl. Hi. I'm gonna have one piece here, one piece between the cabinets, another piece between these two cabinets, and then another piece over here. I'm going to start by drilling these into the floor. And I'm just making sure that I'm putting them underneath my island. So here are my concrete screws. This is what they look like. To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous about putting holes in our concrete floors, but I'm going to have to. Once your cabinets are on top, you can move them around a little bit, so these don't need to be in like an exact location. So I guess I'll just start with this. Oh my gosh, I'm nervous. I set this as my depth stop. It should go to like here. This isn't really necessary. I'll use it because I have it, but you can also just put a little piece of tape around here to tell yourself where to stop. So nerve-wracking, putting a hole in our ground. I got the Tapcon screws with the star adjustment. Honestly, any screw I get the star adjustment. So you get like that, so it doesn't strip, especially if you're going into concrete. It's like a tough material. But even if you're going into wood, screw Phillips heads and screw flatheads. They always strip. Okay. Oh my God. Wow. Would you look at that? It just snapped in half. Wow. Okay. So, I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I could honestly leave it there. That took like no force. Yeah, that doesn't work. Honestly, I might just leave it freaking there because it's not gonna be in the way anyway. We're gonna try this again. I'm gonna try going slower this time. Maybe I'm gonna turn down my drill. Well, it doesn't go in. I'm lower setting, so I'm gonna go back to 2. God! If I'm doing something wrong or you have advice, please put it in the comments, because I don't know why these keep snapping off. It says clean the hole before driving. Maybe doing that will help. But I'm a little nervous. I don't want to just keep adding holes in our ground. I'm gonna try vacuuming. I don't really know what to do. I'm gonna try one more time. Fingers crossed, please work. You know what, I'm even gonna switch from my impact driver to a drill. Let's see if that makes a difference. And I'm going to go pretty slowly. Okay, this is the furthest we've gotten. Yeah, it's on 1. Oh, it's actually on hammer. Okay, we finally figured it out. And that's in there strong. So I really found that going in with the hammer drill twice and then vacuuming out the hole really helped. But then I ran into another problem. And it's melted. Spit literally melted. So I definitely can't use that anymore because it melted and got thicker, and now the hole is way too big. The screw literally falls in. So this is a lot harder than I thought it would be. Let's try and at least attach this. At least I got a few screws into the holes that I did already make. This is the other drill bit I have that's also a masonry drill bit, but it doesn't fit in my hammer drill. It only fits in my impact driver and drill. So I'm going to put this on hammer and I will hope this works. This is why the hammer drill is a lot better, because it goes a lot faster. Dang, I think I legit might need to go to Home Depot again. Yeah, this took significantly longer, so I definitely recommend a hammer drill if you got one. Although if you only have a drill or an impact driver, it will work. It will just take a lot longer. I'm gonna go back to Home Depot, grab another drill bit, and I think I'm gonna like take breaks between each hole so it doesn't burn through it real quickly. It's part of being a carpenter, going to Home Depot a zillion times. I got a new drill bit. You can see this is what it normally looks like. And this is what the melted one looks like. I'm gonna let it cool down so I don't melt it again. Vacuumed up the hole and then took my hammer drill and into that hole again to really make sure that it was a clear path for the screw. Nice, that's in there tight. Keep checking to make sure I'm not melting it. Okay, these two are in really tight. It's still hot, so I'm gonna wipe it down with a wet wipe. It's starting to melt. Only after 3 holes, actually 4 holes. Please comment down below if I'm doing something wrong and why these are melting so much. Thank you. Dang, it's completely flat. But I don't want to have to go to Home Depot. I should have gotten 2. I don't want to have to go to Home Depot again, so I'm gonna try and finish this last one with this bit. Might be a bad idea, but I mean, can't get more messed up. I guess it can, but it's gonna be trash anyway. That is not working. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to go to Home Depot again. It's just like way too big of a hole. Like, am I doing something wrong? It's supposed to be on like the hammer setting? Well, I decided not to go to Home Depot since I'm a lazy and I decided to use the drill bit I had that matched my impact driver and used it to finish off these last 2 holes. It also melted, but at this point I did not care and was just happy that I have all my holes drilled. And then I finished adding the screws into the concrete, and now I can finally actually put my kitchen island up. Who would have thought that just adding 8 screws would have taken this long? So I put the middle cabinet up first, and I kind of just leaned it against the pieces of wood while I put the legs in place, and then added legs to the other side as well, and then just untwisted them until they hit the ground. Did that again with the other cabinets as well. Here's a closer view from underneath. So you can see I first let it lean against the pieces of wood, and then I put all the legs in piece and then just untwist it until it hit the floor. Okay, so now these are all up and with legs. So now I'm gonna level them out and attach them to each other. So I first tried getting all of the cabinets individually to the right height and level, but I found that that was a huge waste of time. Trying to get all 3 cabinets perfectly lined up with each other and flush on the front and all perfectly level and the same height was really hard, and had to keep hiring and lowering things over and over again. So actually, I found that it's way quicker to just attach the cabinets together first and then try and level it after. So to attach them to each other, it doesn't matter what height they are, or even if the back is kind of slanted backwards, you just need the front and top flush with each other. So once I got that done, I added a clamp and then drilled a hole and put a screw into the cabinet so it won't move. And I did this with both sides of the cabinet. Did the same thing with the cabinet on the other side. Just really make sure that the front of your cabinet and the top are flush with each other, or else when you put drawers in later, one drawer will be sticking out further than the one next to it. So now that it's one solid piece instead of 3 separate pieces, it's way easier to get the whole thing level and to get it the same height as my cabinets on the wall. So I kept just lowering and raising all of the legs to make sure that it was the same height and it was perfectly level. This actually took me quite a bit because I didn't want my island lower or higher than the cabinets on my wall, or it slanted to one side. But finally got that done, and then I went underneath the cabinets, and now that your cabinets are at the right height, you can move these little wood pieces up to the height of the cabinet. And you can see here that pushing up the piece of wood, it still doesn't even touch my cabinets. So instead, I unscrewed the top screw so I can push it further up. And I'll just add an extra screw later. And now you can see here that the piece of wood fully touches the cabinet now that I took both the 2 top screws out off of both sides. And you can see there's a whole bunch of holes next to the slot in the middle. And so I held up the piece of wood in place, and then I drilled holes in those holes so I could add a screw there to hold it in place. Here's a close-up shot of what's happening. I held the piece of wood up and then put a screw in to really hold this bracket in place. And then after I had that screw in, I tightened the main screw all the way. And here's the DIY version. See, these are the L brackets that I got from Home Depot. I just got the biggest ones I could find. And you can see it's not that different than the Ikea version one. You really just hold the piece of wood up in place and then drill a hole and then put a screw in that hole. And now this support bracket is in place as well. So now all of the support brackets are touching the cabinet and are in place. So now we can attach the cabinets to these from above. But before I do that, I'm really gonna make sure that the whole kitchen island is perfectly parallel with the kitchen wall, because I don't want to screw this cabinet down into those brackets and it be kind of crooked with the kitchen. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm really making sure that I'm measuring from 2 different spots to really make sure that this kitchen island is parallel with the kitchen wall. Okay, I think it is perfectly straight with these cabinets. And I checked one last time to make sure that it was perfectly level. Now I'm going to screw through the cabinet into that block that we put down. I'm just using these construction screws. So I just drilled a hole and then added the screw in. And this part is so satisfying because after hours of leveling, I guess it was really like an hour or 2, but after a long time of leveling, making sure it's perfectly straight, it's exciting that this island is not gonna move again, at least for the next 10 years, or at least until this kitchen is out of style. And if you miss it, you will feel it. It will kind of just go through instead of feel like you're drilling through something the entire time. And I added 2 construction screws per block and 1 on each end. And so I did this for all of the blocks. And if you do find out later that your kitchen island isn't perfectly straight, or if you want more space between your cabinets or something, you can always move it later. You just take out the drawers, unscrew these screws, and drill new holes and screw in new screws. Now we're done attaching the cabinets to those blocks. So now for the fun part of putting all the drawers in. And I'll post another video of me doing my entire kitchen and a video of the rest of this island. Good chance if you're watching this, it's actually probably already posted. So if it's linked down below, it's already posted. But thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this was helpful. And comment down below if you want to see anything else or have any video ideas for me. And follow along to see how my partner and I fully renovate this entire house. Finishing this kitchen was the first step in renovating this entire house, so have lots of great content coming. So subscribe and like if you like this video, and see you next time.